"Don't touch that queen, busboy." Victor Rane said it softly, but the microphone caught every word. 400 donors turned toward the glass chessboard in the center of Briar Hall Conservatory. The charity gala was live, the camera light was red, and Malik Reed, a quiet black single dad in an old volunteer jacket, stood with one hand still near the White Queen. His daughter Nia waited by the stage with her cello, hoping the scholarship board would call her name before the night ended. Victor looked at Malik's scuffed shoes and smiled. "That explains it. You carry plates. You do not correct positions." A few donors laughed. Then Victor made the mistake that would destroy him. He challenged Malik to a public game, 9 moves. If Malik lost, Nia would leave without her performance slot. If Malik survived, Victor would fund her future. Victor thought he was humiliating a poor father for charity content. 9 moves later, he would lose his title, his chair, his sponsors, and the room that used to obey him. But to understand why Malik did not speak right away, you have to know what he was holding in his pocket. Not money, not a secret contract. A pencil. A short cedar pencil, worn almost to the metal band, with 4 words carved into one side by the woman Malik still heard in every hard decision. Count twice, move once. That was how Talia Reed had lived. That was why Malik, with every reason to break Victor Rane in the first minute, kept his hands open at his sides. 3 hours earlier, Malik was not thinking about chess. He was thinking about brake fluid. The Briar Hall youth bus had coughed into the service lane behind the conservatory at 5:20, carrying 12 scholarship students, 2 chaperones, and a driver who looked ready to quit. Malik knelt by the front wheel and touched the dark bead trembling on the pavement. "Line's weeping," he said. "Not blown yet." The driver rubbed his face. "Kids are due inside in 20 minutes. Then we fix it in 15? Nia lifted her chin. "My dad fixes what people ignore." By 5:38, the line was clamped well enough for a slow ride back to the depot. Malik signed the repair note and handed it to the driver. "No freeway. Yard only. Tell Arlen I want the full line replaced before morning route." The driver stared at the note. "You sure this bus was cleared last week?" "It was cleared on paper." Malik did not say more. He had learned that paper could lie while metal told the truth. He drove morning routes, worked 3 warehouse nights, and volunteered for the Arts Foundation because Nia's program depended on parents filling the gaps money left open. Without the transport stipend, Nia could not attend Saturday conservatory classes. 2 buses and a rail line turned one cello lesson into a 4-hour journey. Talia had bought Nia's first cello at a pawn shop 3 months before she died. The bridge leaned, the varnish was scarred, and one peg slipped in winter. Talia had wrapped it in a blanket and carried it up 3 flights while her lungs were already fighting her. "She needs one thing the world cannot take back," Talia told Malik. "Music?" he asked. Talia smiled. "Proof." At 6, the conservatory swallowed everyone. Briar Hall had been built by railroad money and restored by tech money. Ferns spilled from balconies. Marble steps curved around a reflecting pool. Forks chimed. Champagne hissed. Every sound in the place seemed expensive. Across the atrium, a giant donor wall flashed names in gold. Beside it sat the evening's jewel, a glass chessboard on a brass table, with pieces carved from pearl and obsidian. A camera hung above it. Another hid in the table edge. Small microphones sat at every corner. Victor Rane loved that board the way some men love mirrors. At 48, Victor still looked like a magazine had arranged him. He wore velvet, silver cufflinks, and the calm look of a man who thought every room already belonged to him. He had won national titles, written a book called Every King Needs a Weak Square, and built a public charity that taught chess to children from neighborhoods he rarely visited without cameras. Reporters called him generous. Students called him brilliant. Staff called him careful, but only when doors were shut. His real gift was not calculation. It was arranging people around himself until every mistake looked like someone else's fault. In the green room, Nia sat with her cello and turned Talia's pencil between her fingers. Talia had used it for chess books, grocery lists, school forms, and hospital times. When her hands shook too much for ink, she used pencil because mistakes could be rubbed away. Nia held it out. "Can you keep it?" she asked. "For luck? For steady?" Malik took it and tucked it into his inner pocket. "You already steady?" "My bow hand is sweating." "That just means it knows tonight matters." She looked at him. "Does it matter too much?" "Play the first 8 bars for yourself," he said. "The next 8 for your mother. After that, let the room catch up." Nia breathed in. "Count twice." "Move once," he finished. At the door, a young woman cleared her throat. "Mr. Reed, they need parent volunteers at the South Service Station." Her name tag read Sofia Alvarez. She was a media intern with a headset too large for her face and kitchen tape on her shoes because the marble was slick. She spoke fast and apologized faster. "Sorry," she said. "I need someone who will not panic near donors." He followed her past program crates and black tablecloths. On a monitor near the service hall, the live stream showed the empty chessboard from above. A red dot blinked in the corner. Malik stopped. "That feed delayed?" he asked. 7 seconds to the public stream. Raw feed records here and backs up to the local drive if I approve it. Why? Audio meter jumps before picture. Sophia looked at the screen. The green bar twitched while the board sat empty. "Old wiring," she said, but she did not sound sure. Maybe. At the South Station, Malik stacked water bottles while donors handed him empty glasses without meeting his eyes. He had learned that dignity was not the same thing as being seen. At 7:15, a murmur crossed the atrium. Victor Rane had arrived. Cameras shifted toward him. Donors straightened. The streamer Lark Bishop lifted her phone. Victor moved through them in velvet and patent leather, accepting praise like rent. A young assistant trailed him with a tablet, a small black case, and a coil of clear wire that vanished into Victor's collar. Malik saw the wire. He did not stare. Victor reached the glass board and frowned. "Who set the queen there?" A staff member froze. "The display company, sir." "The queen is wrong." Malik saw the real problem before Victor touched a piece. It was not the queen. It was the Black Knight, one square too far back for the exhibition position printed in Victor's program. Anyone could miss it. But the wrong square changed a sacrifice into nonsense. A broken position leaves a clue. Malik stepped forward, picked up the knight, and placed it on D7. The glass piece clicked. The board became true. Victor's hand stopped in midair. "Interesting," he said. It was not a compliment. Malik stepped back. Display piece was off. Victor's eyes moved over the old jacket, the volunteer badge, the scuffed shoes, emails, and the grease mark near Malik's cuff. "And you would know because?" "The diagram is on the program." Victor looked at the program, then back at Malik. The answer was too clean. He liked messier answers from people in service jackets. "Your name?" "Malik Reed." "Staff?" "Parent volunteer." "Ah." Victor turned to the forming crowd. "Mr. Reed has corrected my board. We must honor expertise wherever we find it, even when it appears from the service hallway." Malik felt the pencil against his chest. Count twice, move once. He did not answer. The first exit ramp opened there. Victor could have thanked him and moved on. Instead, he leaned close enough that the corner microphone caught him. "Don't touch that queen, busboy." The Gala turned. A laugh near the bar became another. Phones came up. Not all of them. Enough. Malik's face stayed calm because Nia was watching from the green room doorway. He turned to leave. Victor blocked him with one polished shoe. "Wait, you corrected my display in front of donors. That deserves a lesson." "No lesson needed," Malik said. "You play?" Victor asked. "Not tonight." "That sounds like no." It is no. Lark Bishop drifted closer with her phone. Victor, is this becoming content? Victor's smile brightened. Everything is education, Lark. He turned to the room. Ladies and gentlemen, our volunteer father has a sharp eye. Should we test it? Malik looked toward Naya. She held her bow at her side, mouth set in a line too old for 11. Victor saw it too. Your daughter performs tonight, yes? Malik's shoulders tightened. The second exit ramp opened. Victor could have left the child out of it. He did not. Young artists need courage, Victor said. So do chess players. Perhaps your father can model some. Leave her out, Malik said. The words were gentle. The warning under them was not. Victor laughed. Or what? You will drive your bus through my atrium? Laughter broke from the donor tables. Naya flinched. Malik saw it. Pride told him to answer. Talia's pencil told him to count. I am asking politely, Malik said. Victor lifted both hands. Then I will ask generously. 1 game, a miniature, 9 moves. If Mr. Reed survives 9 moves against me, I will personally fund his daughter's scholarship and transportation. If not, he apologizes for interfering with a professional display, and the young lady can enjoy the evening as an observer. Naya whispered, Dad! A board member named Carson Vale appeared at Victor's shoulder. He had a sponsor pin and the anxious smile of a man trying to protect donations from truth. Victor, Carson murmured, perhaps we keep the program moving. Victor clapped Carson on the back. Exactly. The program is courage. Put us on the main feed. Sophia's headset crackled. Do we switch? Victor wants board cam live. Sophia looked at Malik. He gave the smallest shake of his head. No, it was not fear. It was protection. Victor caught it. Camera shy? A quiet man can pretend to be deep until someone asks him to move. Quiet man? That word opened an old door in Malik. Behind it was the boy who once beat grown men over chipped boards in a community center after midnight. Behind that boy was the junior champion who could calculate 8 forcing lines while someone shouted in his ear. Behind him waited the senior pattern analyst who had caught titled players whose moves arrived too cleanly after engine alerts. And behind all of them stood Talia, thin from treatment, telling him not to make Nia inherit a war. Our daughter needs a father, Talia had said. Not a king in exile. So Malik kept that door closed. I am not playing, he said. Victor reached toward the scholarship table and lifted Nia's paper tag from the music stand. Malik moved 1 step. Victor stopped, smiling. Careful. Donor rules. Final performance slots are discretionary. Nia's eyes filled. Malik held out his hand. Put the tag back. Play the game. Put the tag back first. Victor laughed. Listen to the negotiator. Sophia whispered into her headset. We should cut audio. Production answered. Victor requested full audio. Board sponsor wants drama. Behind Sophia, Carson's assistant handed her a printed content card for the live stream. 1 line was circled in red. Volunteer dad moment. Keep tight if father engages. Sophia looked at it, then at Malik. Malik heard enough. He looked at the red light on the board camera, then at Sophia. Raw feed records here? He asked. She blinked. Yes. With board notation? If the sensor mat is on? Victor spread his arms. Wonderful. The volunteer wants paperwork. Turn on every sensor. Record every move, every word. No one will say I was unkind to a beginner. He had just built his own trap. Malik saw it happen. He also saw Carson relax because drama brought pledges. He saw Lark tilt her phone. He saw donors lean in. He saw Nia trying not to cry with a cello bow in her hand. His restraint changed again. He would not crush Victor for pride. He would play for Nia, and he would do it clean. 9 moves, Malik said. Victor's grin widened. If I reach 9, her scholarship and transport are fully funded through graduation, in writing, on the donor wall before the game starts. A murmur moved through the room. Victor waved a careless hand. Done. Not enough, Malik said. Now Victor's smile thinned. Malik pointed to the board camera. You said every word. Say it there. Victor faced the camera. If Mr. Malik Reed survives 9 moves against me, I, Victor Rane, will personally fund Nia Reed's Briar Hall scholarship and transport through graduation. And if I win? Malik asked. Victor turned slowly. If you win? You asked for proof. Proof has outcomes. Victor's pride stepped in before caution could catch it. If you win, I will double the scholarship fund tonight. Personal funds, Malik said, personal funds. And resign your voting chair pending an independent audit. Carson's face changed. Now wait. Agreed, Victor said. And if you lose, you apologize. Your daughter gives up the performance slot, and you both leave my gala. My gala. The words revealed more than he meant. Malik nodded once. Put it on the wall. Sophia swallowed and typed. Seconds later, the donor wall changed. Victor Rane Charity Challenge. 9-move scholarship match. Full audio, board censor, raw, archive active. Malik took off his volunteer jacket and folded it over a chair. Under it, he wore a plain white shirt with the grease mark still near his cuff. He pulled Talia's pencil from his pocket and set it beside the board. Victor noticed. Taking notes? Remembering. Victor chose black with a flourish. White moves first. I enjoy seeing hope expose itself. Malik placed his fingers on the king's pawn. Before he moved, a woman in a navy suit stepped from the donor line and spoke quietly to Carson. Malik did not catch her name, but he caught Carson's answer. Elaine, not now. The pledge certification can wait. It can wait, she said. Preservation cannot. Carson's face tightened. There is nothing to preserve. Malik heard the word preserve and stored it beside the red camera light. The game began. Malik pushed his pawn 2 squares. Victor answered with the Sicilian defense, quick and lazy. Lark whispered the name to her followers. A few donors nodded as if they had understood before she spoke. The clear wire was hidden now, but a tiny flesh-colored nub sat behind Victor's ear. Not a hearing aid, not medical. Malik had seen cleaner devices used by weaker cheaters for lower stakes. Second move. Victor replied before the piece had fully settled. Malik's eyes flicked toward the production balcony. Half hidden behind a fern, Victor's assistant Dane held a tablet. One glove covered his right hand. People with touchscreens sometimes did that when they needed to hide a second device. On the board, Malik played a bishop move that looked ordinary and was not. Third move. Victor smiled. Developing pieces. Good. Someone gave you a library card. Malik's hand stayed steady. Victor's answer came after 2 seconds. His eyes did not examine the bishop line. They flicked once toward the balcony. Malik knew then. The whisper had a rhythm, not just cheating. A familiar rhythm. Move cue. Delay. Hand correction. Cover line. Malik had spent 2 years teaching software to hear that rhythm in rooms where powerful men swore they were just talented. He had promised Talia he would never drag Nia back into that world. Now Victor had dragged her there himself. Malik moved a pawn. Fourth move. It opened a diagonal that looked like a mistake. Sophia saw Dane's cable run from the tablet into a pocket transmitter the size of a matchbox. Her headset crackled. Keep tight on Victor. Chat numbers are climbing. She touched the raw record icon. Still red. Victor captured a pawn. At the edge of the crowd, an older man in a brown suit watched without laughing. He wore no donor pin. One hand rested on a cane, carved with tiny squares. When Malik made his 5th move, the old man's eyes narrowed. He knew the pattern, or thought he did. The 5th move brought Malik's queen out early. Victor laughed. Oh no, the queen has arrived too soon. Happens to beginners in chess and life. Malik felt it like pressure on a bruise. He did not defend himself. He placed Talia's pencil parallel to the board edge. The carved words faced him. Count twice. Move once. The sixth move changed the air. Malik slid his knight to a square most guests could not name and most amateurs would never choose. It threatened nothing obvious. It invited black to take space. It also set a quiet hook under Victor's king. Victor touched his ear. In the raw audio, beneath crowd noise and fountain water, a whisper arrived like a thread pulled through cloth. Bishop checks after queen lift. Sophia's hand went cold. Dane looked at Victor. Victor moved his bishop. 6 moves were done. The room applauded because Victor raised his hand and the room had been trained. Malik breathed through his nose. He had not yet survived 9. He had not yet won. But the trap had a hinge. By the 7th move, Victor's cruelty returned. It always did when fear needed a coat. Mr. Reed, do you teach your daughter to start things she cannot finish? I teach her to finish things correctly. Victor looked toward Nia. Then she should watch closely. After this, failure will have a shape she can remember. Carson Vale came toward Sophia with a sponsor's smile. Sophia, he said under his breath, pull the wide shot. We do not need every little comment archived. Raw archive is automatic, she said. Then stop it. I cannot during a donor challenge. That was not fully true. She could. The button was under her thumb. Carson's smile died. You are an intern. Do not confuse a headset with authority. There it was again, the same staircase down. Sophia thought of her mother, who had worked events in this building for 8 years. She thought of Malik waiting in the rain one night so kitchen staff did not have to walk to the late bus alone. He had not known their names. He had only seen tired people and stayed. Sophia slid her thumb away from the stop button. Then she tapped a second icon. Backup raw feed to local drive. The screen asked for confirmation. She pressed yes. A blue line began crawling across the tablet. On the board, Malik made his 7th move. Victor smirked. Even his pieces know where they belong. Victor's 7th answer came too fast. His knight jumped forward, attacking Malik's queen and winning applause from people who liked visible threats. Malik looked at the attack. He ignored it. 8th move. He moved a bishop to a long diagonal, leaving his queen under fire. Ladies and gentlemen, this is what happens when confidence exceeds education. He reached for Malik's queen. His earpiece whispered. Victor took the queen anyway. Lark shouted, "Queen down!" Nia's face crumpled. Victor lifted Malik's captured queen between 2 fingers. Your daughter may keep this as a souvenir, a reminder that wanting something is not the same as deserving it. Before Malik touched his 9th move, Sophia saw the waveform jump. Not crowd noise, not the fountain. A clean private whisper had entered Victor's feed half a second before his hand moved. Carson leaned close enough for his cologne to cut through the heat of the control table. Do not make yourself important tonight. Sophia looked from the screen to Nia, then to Malik's pencil lying beside the glass board. The backup line hit 100%. Only then did Malik look up. The old door in his chest opened again. Behind it, Talia whispered with the clarity she had used when doctors talked over her. Count twice. Malik counted. Victor had moved 8 times. Malik had 1 move before the challenge number became a weapon. 1 move before Nia's scholarship vanished. 1 move before the crowd decided the story was over. He placed 2 fingers on his knight. Then he moved it. 9th move. The glass piece landed with a click, smaller than a dropped pin. For half a second, no one understood. Then the board sensors flashed. Checkmate. The word appeared on the donor wall in letters taller than Victor's head. Victor looked at the board, then the screen, then the board again. No, he said. Malik sat still. His queen was gone. His pawns looked damaged. But Victor's king had no square, no shield, and no legal answer. The sacrifice had not been desperation. It had been a door closing from the other side. 9 moves. Victor Rane, who had promised to teach a lesson, had been mated by a quiet single father in a volunteer badge. Illegal, Victor snapped. Malik folded his hands. Which move? Victor pointed, then stopped. The sensor is wrong, Victor said. Carson hurried toward the board. Everyone, please, a technical review will clarify. Good, Malik said. Review it. Victor laughed once, too loud. You think a cheap trick makes you a player? No? Malik picked up Talia's pencil. I think a recorded game tells the truth. Sophia switched the donor wall from display mode to review mode. Carson lunged for the tablet. Sophia, stop! She stepped back. The challenge terms require full review. I will have your internship, Carson hissed, her voice shook. Then take that on audio. The donor wall showed the board from above. Move 1, move 2, move 3. Notation appeared beside the image. Malik watched without expression. Victor stood very still. There, Victor said. Move 8. He hung his queen. He cannot then. Let it run, Malik said. The 9th move appeared. The system confirmed mate. The old man with the cane spoke. It is legal. Victor turned on him. And you are? Isaac Feld, international arbiter, retired, invited by the foundation to certify the junior final next month. Victor's face tightened. Then certify the board malfunction. Isaac tapped his cane once. Boards do not create legal mate from illegal geometry. The position is clear. Malik looked at Sophia. May I ask for audio on moves 6 through 8? Victor's head snapped toward him. No. Carson stepped between them. This is unnecessary. The scholarship terms are satisfied. Let us celebrate the children. Malik did not move. Mr. Rane said every word, every move, full audio. Sophia's hand hovered over the slider. She looked at Carson, then at Nia, then pressed play. The donor wall showed move 6. Crowd noise filled the speakers. Fountain water, a cough, a glass clink. Then under all of it came a whisper. Bishop checks after queen lift. The room froze. Dane backed into a potted fern. Sophia amplified the waveform. Bishop checks after queen lift. If knight retreat, take queen. Move 7, Malik said. Another whisper. Knight fork. He will panic. Take queen after bishop line. Carson's voice went thin. This could be ambient audio from anywhere. It could, Malik said, unless the transmitter is logged to the production tablet. Sophia tapped into device inputs. Camera 1, board mic, lapel mic, donor stage. Then a private feed labeled VR-CUE appeared in the corner. Victor moved toward production. Turn that off. Malik stood, not quickly, not violently, just enough to place himself between Victor and Sophia. He was taller than Victor expected, broader too. The old jacket had hidden that. Most service clothes do. They turn bodies into functions. Victor stopped 2 feet away. Move, he said. Malik's voice stayed quiet. Count twice. Victor blinked. What? Move once. A woman in a navy suit stepped into the open space. She had a folder in one hand and no patience left in her face. Do not touch the production system, she said. Carson looked relieved and terrified. Elaine, thank goodness, we need to de-escalate. No, we need to preserve records. The word hit the room differently now. Elaine Cho, independent auditor for the foundation, was short, neat, and precise, the kind of person people underestimated until numbers began bleeding. She had been hired to certify pledge totals that night because several restricted scholarship accounts had not matched their invoices. Carson knew that. Victor knew that. The donors did not. Elaine did not ask the room to understand software. She pointed to 3 lines on the screen. That is Mr. Rane's private staff login. That is the device feeding his earpiece. And that is the exact second the move was spoken before he played it. No one needed a technical degree after that. Victor had asked for every camera. The cameras had answered. All right, Victor said, switching tactics so smoothly that some donors almost followed him. Yes, I use an in-ear feed for stage timing. Every live event does. It tells me camera cues, donor totals, program notes. Turning that into cheating because a man got lucky is desperate. He pressed. As for this game, any child with a phone could set up a trick line. Perhaps Mr. Reed did more than repair buses. Perhaps he came here looking for a viral moment. Now the crowd looked at Malik. There it was again. Staff becomes schemer. Quiet becomes suspicious. A black father protecting his child becomes a threat to the room. Malik had expected that turn. Men like Victor did not fall straight down. They grabbed others on the way. Victor smiled. "Who are you, Mr. Reed? Really?" Malik did not answer. Not because he lacked an answer, because the answer was not the evidence. "Sophia," he said, "may I see the donor terms from before the game?" Carson snapped, "Absolutely not." "The challenge terms were public on the wall," Elaine said. "Show them." Sophia pulled up the saved wall capture. The terms appeared again: scholarship, personal funding, resignation pending audit, full audio, board censor, raw archive. Victor's own recorded voice played beneath them. "Agreed. A man can dance around many things. His own voice is harder." Malik pointed at the audit line. "That was not about the game." "No," Elaine said. "It was about restricted funds." She faced the room. "For clarity, I will say only what is necessary. My firm began a restricted funds review 3 weeks ago. Transport scholarship funds have been delayed, reassigned, or routed through vendors linked to board officers. The review is incomplete, but tonight's challenge activated a condition Mr. Rane accepted himself." She turned to Sophia. "Pull the scholarship table image from before the game, the envelope Mr. Reed placed there." Sophia zoomed the pre-game wide shot. On the table sat Malik's plain white envelope with Nia's name written in careful print. Something stuck out from the flap. The bus repair note. Briar County Youth Route. Temporary brake line repair. Vehicle 14. Transport grant route Rane Foundation. "Who operates Vehicle 14? Elaine asked. "Briar County Schools leases it for scholarship transport on Saturdays," Malik said. Elaine's mouth tightened. "It should. The invoices say it does." The wall showed a scanned audit document. Vehicle 14 maintenance paid in full. Premium safety replacement. Vendor, Meridian Youth Mobility. Malik frowned. That line was original. No replacement. Clamp still had factory paint. I had my hands on it at 5:30. Victor attacked the weakest person. "This is absurd. An intern, a bus driver, and an auditor with an agenda are turning a children's gala into a circus." Sophia's fingers stopped. Malik did not look at her. "You do not have to do more," he said. Carson leaned in. "Take that permission." "No," she said. She opened the production email queue. At 4:12 today, Mr. Rane's office sent a content plan to media volunteers. Subject line: Volunteer Dad Moment. The donor wall displayed the email. Make the unscripted parent interaction usable. If he touches the board again, keep cameras tight. Need humble contrast before donor close. Children respond to visible lessons. VR wants the father corrected publicly, not cut away. No one laughed now. Victor said, "That email was drafted by staff. I receive hundreds of..." Sophia scrolled down. Authorized by Victor Rane. Device, Victor Rane, private tablet. Approval. Voice confirmed, 4:17 p.m. Elaine stepped closer. "That is enough for preservation. Carson instructs security to secure Mr. Rane's staff devices." 2 guards approached Dane, who held up his tablet like it might bite him. "Friends," Victor said, spreading his hands, "you know me. You know what I have built. One staged misunderstanding cannot erase 20 years of service." Victor pointed at Malik. "Ask yourself why he knew what to demand. Board censors, raw audio, audit language. Does that sound like a simple parent? Or someone who came to entrap a charity?" He picked up the captured white queen and set it back on the board, not in play, only returned to its place. "You want to know who I am," Malik said. I am Nia's father. That is the only title I brought here. I drove children because they deserve to arrive safely. I fixed a brake line because nobody should clap for scholarships on a bus that cannot stop. I corrected a knight because the square was wrong. I played because he put my daughter's future on the table. The rest is paperwork. Victor scoffed. Convenient. Yes, Malik said. Paperwork often is. Isaac Feld stepped nearer. Search his name in the partner archive. Crown Line Fair Play, historical case tags. The junior program uses Crown Line training videos, Sophia said. The database should be in the donor portal. She typed, Malik Reed. For 2 seconds, nothing happened. Then a file appeared. Reed, Malik A., former senior pattern analyst. Lead investigator, case CL-7719. Subject, Rane, Victor. Status, sealed settlement. Athlete compliance review, year 2018. Nia stared at her father. She had known he played. She had known he stopped. She had not known he had once held a man like Victor under a lamp and found the wires. The settlement was sealed, Malik said. The pattern tags are training data. Your charity licensed them. Isaac Feld leaned on his cane. CL-7719, Barcelona Online Invitational. Victor snapped, Allegations. Malik looked at him. Patterns. A room sounds different when a powerful man starts shrinking. The first sound is not cheering. It is adjustment, shoes shifting, glasses lowering, people moving the weight of themselves away from the person who had been safe to stand near. Nia walked to Malik's side. He wanted to tell her to stay back. He did not. Some truths should not be hidden from children forever. Only given with care. She looked at the board. You gave up your queen, she said. Malik nodded. Sometimes the most valuable piece is bait. Were you scared? He looked at her. Yes. Elaine raised her voice. As independent auditor, I recommend immediate activation of the challenge condition, suspension of Mr. Rane's voting authority, preservation of all production records, and temporary freezing of vendor payments linked to Meridian Youth Mobility pending review. Carson swallowed. The board must vote. Then vote, Elaine said. One by one, board members looked at the donor wall, the raw audio label, the bus note, the email, and Victor's face. Victor raised a hand. You cannot remove me. I built this foundation. Isaac Feld spoke before the board did. No, children built it. You stood in front. Carson looked ill. All in favor of temporary suspension pending audit? The vote passed. The donor wall changed again. Victor Rane voting chair suspended pending audit. Nia Reed scholarship and transport fully funded. Restricted transport funds under independent review. For a second, Malik could not read it. The letters blurred. Relief sometimes arrives like injury first, but everything did not fall in one sound. It fell in 3. The first was reputation. Lark Bishop looked into her phone, no smile now. For everyone watching, the raw feed confirmed in-ear move guidance during the charity challenge. We are staying on the public record. No edits. The second was money. The largest sponsors agreed to place their scholarship pledges in a protected account, away from Victor's discretion, until Elaine's review was complete. The third was control. Security returned with Dane's tablet sealed in a clear bag. Elaine asked one question. Were you instructed to provide moves to Mr. Rane during the game? Dane looked at Victor, then at the cameras, then at Sophia. Yes, he said. Victor snapped, you signed a confidentiality agreement. Dane almost laughed. It came out broken. You signed the challenge terms. That was the last piece. Self-authored traps are strongest because no one has to push the door shut. Victor had built a charity around cameras. He had ordered full audio. He had approved the terms. He had mocked a father for the audience. He had used a scholarship as bait. He had trusted every system because every system had once bent toward him. Victor did not move. This foundation is my name, Malik answered. Then maybe children should not have to carry it. Victor looked at him with hatred polished flat. What did you win? A bus that stops. A bus that stops. A child who gets home. A scholarship not held hostage by a man's ego. Isaac Feld approached with his carved cane. Mr. Reed, that was the old Lasker corridor motif, altered with a queen decoy. Malik smiled faintly. With a bad bishop. With a brave bishop, Isaac said. He looked at Nia. Your father is very strong. Nia lifted her chin. I know. Then she turned to Malik. But you never told me how strong? There was hurt in it. Small. Honest. Malik crouched as he had in the green room. I was afraid if I showed you that part you would think winning meant hurting people back. Does it? No. Then you should have told me. A father can win a room and still owe his child the truth. You are right, Malik said. I am sorry. Your mother knew the whole story. I should have given you more of it. Nia touched the pencil. Was this hers when you played? When I stopped? Why did you stop? Malik glanced at Victor, now surrounded by board members and security. Because the last time I exposed a powerful player, people came after our family. Your mother was sick. I thought disappearing would keep peace. Did it? The question was clean. No, Malik said. It only made me quieter. Nia nodded. I like quiet, but not when someone else chooses it for you. Malik had no answer. He did not need one. Sophia looked at him. Tonight I worked for the truth. Nia looked toward her cello. Malik followed her eyes. You still want to play? She wiped her cheek. I think Mom came too far not to hear it. Then let the room catch up. Elaine stepped to the microphone. Ladies and gentlemen, the program will continue. The scholarship students did not cause what happened here. They should not lose their moment because adults forgot their purpose. Nia walked to the stage carrying the cello herself. Malik offered to help. She shook her head. On stage, she adjusted the end pin, tightened the bow, and looked once at the empty chair where Talia would have sat. Malik held up the pencil. Nia saw the carved words from across the room. The first note came low and plain. Not perfect. Better than perfect. It trembled, then steadied. It moved through the glass hall and touched things money had only decorated. Forks stopped, phones lowered. Even people who had laughed looked down, not from shame alone, but from recognition. Victor left before the final phrase. No cameras followed by choice. He went through the side hall with his velvet jacket buttoned wrong. The side hall had no roses, only gray carpet, service carts, and fluorescent light. For once, he used the door he had assigned to others. The repairs were not glamorous. A bus received new brake lines. 3 families got transport money back. Sophia received a real job, not a borrowed headset. And on Saturday mornings, the county library filled with children learning the rule. Malik taped above the chess sets. Count twice, move once, tell the truth. That was enough. The audit did its slow work. It turned wrongdoing into dates, invoices, and signatures. Meridian Youth Mobility lost its contract after inspectors found billed repairs that had never been performed. The foundation created a protected transport account requiring 2 independent signatures and monthly public reporting. Victor's Federation announced a conduct review. His publisher paused his next book. 3 sponsors suspended campaigns using his image. No police car took Victor away that night. No judge slammed a gavel before dessert. But the thing he valued most, the belief that he could control every room, did not come back. On Monday morning, Malik returned to his route. Children climbed aboard half asleep, dragging backpacks, instruments, and weekend stories. A boy in the 3rd row asked if it was true Mr. Reed beat a famous chess guy in 9 moves. Malik checked the mirror. Seatbelt, he said. But did you? Seatbelt first. The belt clicked. Yes, Malik said. The bus erupted. Are you famous now? No. Are you rich? Definitely no. Can you teach us chess? Malik looked at the road ahead. At the corner, the light turned green. Brakes held clean. The bus moved. That afternoon, Nia found an old wood box on the kitchen table. Inside were score sheets, newspaper clippings, a faded tournament photo, and an ID badge from Crown Line Fair Play. She picked up the badge. Her father's face looked younger, less tired, more guarded. "You look serious," she said. "I was trying to look older." "Did it work?" "No." She smiled. Then she found a score sheet with Talia's handwriting in the margin. Move 14. Stop showing off. Nia laughed, and the sound filled the kitchen so suddenly Malik had to turn toward the sink. "Dad?" "I'm good." "No, you're not." He wiped his hands on a dish towel. "No," he said. "Not all the way." Nia set the paper down gently. Can not all the way still teach chess? Malik looked at Talia's pencil. It was shorter now because Nia had sharpened it before school, not knowing it would make him ache. That was the trouble with sacred things. Keeping them alive meant letting them change. "Yes," he said. Not all the way can teach. A month after the gala, Briar Hall hosted the postponed junior final. No velvet throne, no celebrity master at the center. The glass board remained, but it had been moved off the raised platform. Children played on folding tables too, under the same lights. Before the first round, Nia performed the piece she had played that night. This time her bow hand did not shake. Malik stood in the back. He wore a clean shirt and the same old shoes. In his pocket was Talia's pencil. Now in a small cloth sleeve Nia had sewn badly and proudly. Sophia checked the cameras. She caught his eye and pointed to the red recording light. Then she pointed to a second light. "Back up." Malik nodded. After the performance, Nia walked to the microphone. She had asked to say one sentence. Malik had approved one. She unfolded a paper and looked at him with a face too innocent to be trusted. "My mother used to say proof is something the world cannot take back," she said. "So thank you for helping us keep proof where children can reach it." That was more than one sentence. Malik did not correct her. The room stood, not for Victor, not for a donor name, not for marble or public revenge. They stood for a child who had almost been turned into collateral and was now speaking as if she owned her future. On their way out, Malik and Nia passed the service hallway. A new sign hung beside it. Staff, students, families, and guests may use any public entrance. Malik read it twice. Nia read it once and smiled. Outside, Vehicle 14 waited at the curb with a fresh inspection sticker. The driver tapped the wheel. "Stops like a dream," he called. For Malik, that was the real victory. Not a man ruined, a child getting home safe. The bus pulled away from Briar Hall. Through the rear window, the conservatory shrank into glass and light. For years, Malik had thought places like that decided who mattered. Now he watched it get smaller and understood something Talia might have told him sooner. Rooms do not decide. People in rooms decide. And sometimes one quiet person, counting twice and moving once, can make the whole room choose again. Before Sophia pressed back up, she had 1 second to choose between keeping her place and protecting the truth. If you were standing in that room, what would your move be? Stay quiet? Stand beside the person being mocked? Or save the proof? Write the move you hope you would make. This story is a fictional dramatization. The people, foundation, chess match, and events are invented. But the question of dignity is real.